In the 60s, the civil rights movement had been pressing hard for racial justice, equality, and social liberation in America. But progress was painfully slow. In those days, it was still difficult for a black man to accept that he contributed to the birth of a white-skinned child. To him, something had to be wrong.
Something to do with the missing chromosome or something?
They got the what's color in their eyes and they're colorblind or something.
I don't know what Albinism is.
I thought it was like a sickle cell disease at first, but I don't know.
Well, I would assume it's a person that doesn't have a lot of pigmentation in their skin.
Well, of course, they're looked upon different as they're a different race.
They traditionally have lighter hair, lighter, the eyebrows, the lighter skinned.
But it's because they don't got melanin or something in their skin, right?
And I can remember they were teased by a lot of the kids in school. And it wasn't a pretty sight just because they look different.
That's about as much as I know about it.
I discovered that there was something different about me when I was about 4 years old. My brother and I were washing our hands and I said, "Look, my skin is lighter than yours." And he only said, "I know," and made little else of it. Albinism is a genetic pattern where there is little or no pigmentation in the hair, skin, or eyes in select individuals of all races.
It occurs when the recessive genes of both the mother and the father are paired, and a child grows into development without the essential melanin necessary for survival.
I have seen variation in terms of the physical pigmentation in the non-white community. I've seen there was one lady that would come to our meetings, and she had completely the white hair and had the African-American features.
But there are different levels, different phenotypical types, there are different genotypical types, and everybody does not fit the same, but I know that those who are in the same type often look alike.
I think there's a little more variety within the non-white community in terms of the pigmentation than there in the white community, the Caucasian community. I think you have the hair, especially being white, to maybe a golden.
Few people know what it really means to live with albinism. 1 out of 20,000 people are born with some form of albinism.
Right now I'm traveling outside of Knoxville, Tennessee, on my way to Dayton, Ohio. Revisit the scene of the crime, so to speak. Gonna reflect on what it was like growing up. The cruelty, the anger, the hurt feelings.
I think my brother was in trouble from the beginning, before he was born. I knew my dad had a mean streak in him all his life, even when I was little. I witnessed the whippings he would give my cousin, who was also albino. He would whip them naked. And he was just a mean person. He had issues I didn't understand, but I loved him unconditionally because he was my dad.
It was only my biological father that had any reserve about me having albinism. To my understanding, he resented it and hated me because of it.
He would pull on his legs and stretch him and hang him up by his heels and call him names, and all he could do was cry.
Growing up as a child, Lee could not understand why his biological father was so cruel. He had no idea it was because of his albinism.
In fact, I found out later he even denied Lee as being his son. And Lee got a chance to curse him out, and he said he was finished.
I had to go out every now and then and check on him because I noticed he wasn't with the rest of the children, and they were out playing, and he was hid in the shadows of the house.
He had a very rough time. But the fact that he was well loved by the family, we didn't see anything beyond that, because he was ours and we loved him.
I guess I'll even get a chance to see some of my old teachers, the ones who supported me, really pushed me to do my best. I can finally show them now that something good came out of it all.
Like any child, Lee looked forward to the first day of school.
We have a special guest with us today. He was a student at Wagaman School a number of years ago, and he is back here to talk to us about some of his life experiences. And we want to welcome Lee Edwards.
What I want to talk to you about today is, it's about culture. It's about being different, but yet being the same and being normal. It's about respecting others, respecting yourselves. When I was your age, and a little bit before that time, I had my self-esteem taken from me. It all started when the teacher was assigning seats. One of the students refused to sit next to me. She let it be known in front of all the students that she didn't want to be anywhere near me, touch anything that I wanted to touch. Didn't want to be near me, simply because they didn't understand.
Well, Lee was my 6th grade student over 25 years ago. Sometimes I noticed that some students would say, some mean things to him. Students can be mean sometimes, and then I would always correct it when I heard it.